What would you do if your people were under the heavy yoke of oppression and no one seemed brave enough to fight back? Imagine being called to an impossible mission, armed with nothing but faith, courage, and a weapon of your own making. This is the extraordinary story of Ehud, an unexpected hero chosen by God to deliver Israel from the clutches of tyranny. His daring act of faith reminds us that no matter how bleak the circumstances, God's power works through the most unlikely individuals. What makes his story so captivating? Let's explore the journey of a man who changed history. The book of Judges tells us about a dark period in Israel's history. The nation was under the harsh rule of King Eglon of Moab, who had subjugated them for 18 long years. The people were forced to pay heavy tributes, a constant reminder of their enslavement. Their cries for deliverance rose to heaven, echoing the despair of a nation that had lost its freedom. Yet in this moment of hopelessness, God was already preparing a plan of deliverance. But who would he choose? Certainly not a warrior or a king, but a man with a unique trait that would defy expectations. Ehud was from the tribe of Benjamin, but what set him apart was his left-handedness. In a time when right-handedness was the norm, being left-handed was seen as peculiar, even inferior. Yet God often chooses the overlooked and underestimated to fulfill his plans. Ehud's left-handedness would become the very thing that allowed him to carry out his mission. Have you ever felt that your uniqueness or perceived flaws were holding you back? Ehud's story reminds us that God sees potential where others see limitation. Ehud's mission started with the preparation of a weapon, a double-edged dagger, carefully crafted and small enough to be hidden on his right thigh. With this weapon, he set out to deliver Israel's tribute to King Eglon, knowing that this journey could cost him his life. Every step toward the Moabite palace must have been heavy with the weight of his mission. Yet Ehud pressed on, fully trusting in God's guidance. Can you imagine the tension he must have felt as he walked into enemy territory, surrounded by guards, with nothing but his faith and a concealed blade? When the tribute was presented, Ehud seized his opportunity. He told the king he had a secret message from God, piquing Eglon's curiosity. The king, eager to hear this divine message, dismissed his attendants, leaving himself alone with Ehud. The atmosphere must have been thick with suspense as Ehud stood face to face with the oppressor of his people. What would he do next? With every passing moment, the tension grew. This was the turning point, the moment where Ehud's courage and God's plan would converge. As Eglon rose from his seat to hear the supposed message, Ehud acted with precision and speed. Drawing the concealed dagger from his thigh, he plunged it into the king's belly. The Bible spares no detail in describing this dramatic act, emphasizing its significance in the grand story of Israel's deliverance. The room fell silent as Eglon collapsed, his oppressive reign brought to a sudden and violent end. In that instant, Ehud became not just a man with a mission, but the instrument of God's justice. How could such a bold act of faith not inspire awe? Ehud's mission was not yet complete. After securing the room, he locked the doors and made a daring escape to the hills. Imagine the adrenaline coursing through him as he evaded detection and made his way to safety. The tension was palpable. Would he be caught or would he succeed in rallying his people? His escape was as much a testament to his faith as his initial act. Ehud's every step was guided by divine providence, ensuring that he would live to deliver the news of victory. Could his story get any more dramatic? Once safe, Ehud sounded the trumpet in the hill country of Ephraim, calling the Israelites to arms. His bravery ignited a spark in the hearts of his people, and they rallied around him, ready to fight for their freedom. With the Moabite leadership in disarray, Ehud led a surprise attack, securing a decisive victory. Judges 3:30 tells us that Israel experienced peace for 80 years as a result of this triumph. Can you picture the celebration, the joy of a nation delivered from bondage? This was more than a military victory. It was a spiritual renewal. Ehud's story is a powerful reminder that God often uses the most unlikely people to fulfill his plans. His left-handedness, once considered a disadvantage, became the key to his success. This shows us that what the world sees as a weakness, God can turn into a strength. Have you ever doubted your ability to make a difference? Ehud's story challenges us to trust that God can use anyone, regardless of their background or circumstances, to accomplish great things. What makes Ehud's story so compelling is his unwavering courage. He risked everything, his life, his safety, and his reputation, to obey God's call. His actions demonstrate that true faith often requires stepping out into the unknown, even when fear threatens to hold us back. Have you ever faced a situation where you knew God was calling you to act, but fear made you hesitate? Ehud's bravery is a reminder that when God calls, he also equips. Ehud's tale is more than a historical account. It's a call to trust in God's plan for our lives. Just as God raised up Ehud to deliver Israel, he is calling each of us to fulfill a unique purpose. Are you ready to step out in faith, even when the path seems uncertain? Remember, God specializes in using the unexpected. If Ehud, a left-handed man from a small tribe, could change the course of history, imagine what God can do through you. Share this story with someone who needs encouragement, and let's commit to trusting God's plan together.